is constant. Every day things are changing, things are evolving. That's just how life is. And one thing that is constant to everyone in everyone's life is failure in one way or another. Even our heroes have contended with failure in one point in their lives or another. And if you do not learn how to relate to failure in a healthy way, if you don't learn how to turn your failure into an opportunity, if you don't learn how to fail positively and how to fail upwards, you will have struggles in picking yourself up. You will have struggles in achieving your dreams because it's a bumpy road. I've done so many videos telling you about how hard it is to go after your dreams, and that's not a joke. And in that path, you need to develop a healthy way of dealing with failure, and that is what I want to talk about in this video. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Petronella Mnenja. I'm a consultant, I'm an author, I'm a speaker. My book is called From Gwaka to Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream. It's available on Amazon, and I'm happy to announce that very soon we have 2 more books coming up, and I am so excited. You should be too. They are really good, I've been told by the author. So let's get into today's video. We struggle with failure every day, and I personally have dealt with failure. I've dealt with failure since school. I've dealt with failure in life. I've dealt with failure in relationships. I've dealt with failure when it comes to expectations in one aspect or another. At every stage of my life, I have contended with failure, and I had to sit down and have honest conversations with myself about how I was going to deal it, how I was going to deal with it, how I was going to handle it, how I was going to encounter those things. And I can safely say I'm not there yet, but at least I'm in this position in my life where I can relate healthily with failure, where I can actually learn and I can grow from it. And I want to tell you some of the things that have helped for me, some of the ways that can help you develop a healthy relationship with failure. The first one is, when you have failed at something, be it an exam, be it a relationship, don't beat yourself up too hard. You're not the only one. There is this danger, there is this temptation that when you are going through something that's terrible, there is this danger of believing that you're the only one. You think that the world has conspired against you. Oh, the world hates you. The universe has conspired against you. I'm the only one. I'm terrible. And if you want to think about it, it's what happened in school, isn't it? You were struggling with that essay question you think is the only one, while half the classroom is struggling with it as well. So when you fail, the first thing that's important for you to remember is, hey, I'm not the only one. This is not personal. This is not an indictment on who I am as a person. This is on my mental aptitude on that particular day. I haven't failed life. I haven't failed every other aspect of my life. I just haven't gotten this thing right, and I'm not the only one. The man who invented the bulb had to try, I think, something like 1,000 times. I'm not sure. The guy who invented 7-Up, he called it 7-Up because he got it right the 7th time. So failure is not unique to you. You were not the only one. So the first thing is, don't beat yourself up. Don't. Yeah, you can beat yourself up if you want, and there's an incentive to work hard the next time. I find that works. So if it means going to the mirror and telling yourself, Petty, you should do more, you should work hard, I absolutely stand for that, because I'm all for accountability. But what I won't have you do is to plunge yourself into this pit of depression and stress and constant hammering and bickering, and you're pulling yourself down. You are attacking everything that you stood for as a human being. You're attacking your very essence of being because you failed one thing. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. You need to have a healthy relationship with failure and think, you know what, I have failed at this. It's not an indictment on my personality. I'm still a good person. I'm still amazing. I just didn't get this one thing right. And what do? I pick myself up and I try again. So that's the first one. It's not personal. It's not about you. Everyone has failed. So don't beat yourself up too hard. Maybe beat yourself up a little bit to just incentivize you to work hard, because you should, but let it just stop at that stage of just being you trying to work hard and being you trying to invest more in yourself. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is pause and reflect. Pause and reflect. I'm a chess player. At one point in my life, I actually played chess at the national competitions. I miss that girl who was able to do that, but that's a story for another day. Pause and reflect. The thing about failure is, when you fail in that particular moment, there is this need to correct everyone. There is this need to prove everyone wrong, including yourself. There is this need to go at it again. And what happens, and what I've learned from chess, is emotions get you bit all the time. Emotions get you bit. The moment you're playing chess and the opponent makes one move that just messes with your head, the moment you get angry, riled up, and worked up, you lose. You go. And it's when I have a very practical example that helps with this, apart from the chess one. When I was back home, I went to sit for my provisional license driver's test. The first time that I went, there was an instruction. I was supposed to circle answers and not put an X. I don't know which is which, but I was supposed to do the other, the other, and I did the one that I was supposed to do. So I got every answer right, but I didn't follow instructions. And that's not a good driver, isn't it? A good driver does just to follow instructions, and I failed. I remember I stood outside. I was so angry. I was so emotional. I was so worked up. And I didn't stop to think, what did I do wrong, to reflect. I just acted out of emotions, paid money to take the test again, and I just failed it. This time, not because I didn't follow an instruction, because I was just, quite frankly, too emotional and too unstable to focus and to actually do anything good. So that's the lesson from that, is when you have actually failed in something, pause and reflect. Pause and have honest conversations with yourself. Why did you fail? Don't take the cowardly route of blaming someone else. Don't take the cowardly route of blaming the world and everyone else around it conspiring against you. Have an honest conversation with yourself. What are my inadequacies? What are my shortcomings in this particular task, in this particular moment, in this particular relationship? What could I have done better? What could I have done not? What could I have done differently? And this sort of feeds into the third thing that you should do after you failed: self-introspect. So after you have realized that I have failed, and you have paused, and you have held yourself, composed yourself, sit down and have honest conversations with yourself. If you have failed to make a business sale, if you have failed to make a business pitch, ask yourself, what did I do wrong? How could I have presented this pitch differently? How could I have packaged myself differently? How could I have communicated differently? How could I have made myself more in line with what they were expecting? How could I better myself? What can I do? What can I do better? What are my shortcomings? And that takes courage, and that takes guts. That's not the easy way out. The easy way out is, I have failed because someone is conspiring against me. I have failed because the test was so hard and rigged against me. I have failed because they don't like me. I have failed because this, and it's always everything that's pointing away from us. And it's when you start having conversations that point directly back at you. I failed because maybe I wasn't prepared enough. I failed because maybe I had to read this particular book. I failed because maybe I had to throw in those particular projections in the presentation. So self-introspect. Look at what you can do better in that particular moment and what you didn't do better. Have that honest conversation with yourself. If it's a relationship that has ended, don't just attack this next person. Maybe a little bit if they deserve it. But have an honest conversation with yourself. Self-introspect. What was my role in this failure? What did I do? How did I participate in getting the results that I got? Did I not read? Did I not do this? And if you come out of it with clear things of what you could have done right and what you could have done right, it leads you to the next step, which is learn and improve. Learn and improve. So if you're an athlete and you try and you got a rest and you don't get the first position, you don't go back the next day and say, I want to run again. No, you go back home, you train harder. When you fail an exam, you know how it goes. You don't just say, I'm going back the next day. No, you have time before the next exam is written. You learn, you read, you practice, you try a different reading method, you try a different study skill. And when you accumulate the skills, you learn and you grow. You learn and you grow. So after you've failed, don't be bitter. Don't be a sore loser, So learn, grow, invest in understanding, invest in thinking, what could I have done better? What could I have done better? What can I improve? What can I change about my personality? How can I package myself better? How can I do this? Learn and improve. And this leads you right into the last thing. Try again. Try again. And if you try again and you fail again, restart the whole process. It's not easy, I know, but that's how it works. So it starts with you saying, okay, it's not my fault. Don't beat yourself too hard. You're not the only one who fails. And then it goes to you pausing and reflecting, not trying out of emotions, not being angry and just wanting to prove anyone wrong, actually pausing in the moment. And that leads you into self-introspecting. What could I have done better? And that leads you into learning that thing that you could have done better. And you try again. And if you fail, you go back and you try again. Because that's life. We are not made by the wins that we have had. We are made by the battles that we have lost and how much we try again. So losing is not unique to you. Losing and failing is not unique to you. Even your heroes have failed. Even the people that you look up to have failed. Oprah Winfrey at some point was fired. LeBron James talked about how he wasn't even in his high school basketball team. So even the people that you look up to, they have failed. And they have kept on trying and trying because that's how it works. But you can't develop the stamina, the character, the energy, the perseverance, the grit needed to try again if you do not learn to have a healthy relationship with your failure. Have a healthy relationship with failure. Understand that it's part of life, just as the wins are part of life. Failure is like change. It's constant. It happens. And if you want to use it for your good, you need to have a healthy relationship with failure. And how do you do that? You follow the steps that I've given you. And if they don't work the first time, try again. If they don't work that time, try again. If they don't work that time, try again. I'm a Christian, and I will caption this on a script. I will caption this on the word of God. God will make your dreams come true when it's time. So be patient, keep trying, keep going. God may not show up when you want him to, but he is there on the right time. And maybe you don't believe in God, and whatever you believe in, or you don't believe in anything, that's absolutely fine. I respect it. My point remains, try. That's what life is about. And that's what we should do. We keep going, even when we are not supposed to keep going. Even when the environment, even when everything works against us, we keep going. That's what champions are made of. I promise you.